morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and I was always told how to voice the radio. So today, ladies and gentlemen, I come to you with a Pokemon trading card game mystery. You see, I follow a lot of Japanese shops over on Twitter. I like to see what decks are being played, what decks are winning. It's one of the things that gives me so much information about the Japanese metagame, how I'm able to share so much with you over here. And what they've taken to doing sometimes is hiding some of the cards. So they will show you a list, but some of the cards will be turned backwards, and you'll have to figure out what those cards are. They don't want to share their entire list. Well, someone's gone and taken it a step further and said, right, I've gone and won this tournament, but I'm only going to show you the key cards. Fair enough. Now, if they show us that the key cards are Reshiram and Charizard, Welder and Mewtwo and Mew, I think we can all have a look at that and say, okay, it's a fire-based Mewtwo and Mew deck. Cool. That makes perfect sense to me. If they show us Gardevoir and Sylveon, Super Scoop Up, and Fairy Charm ability, we're going to go, oh, it's a straight Gardevoir and Sylveon deck with a bit of healing and using the Fairy Charms to block some decks off. Well, what would you tell me if I told you that the key cards were Chaos Vortex, Magmortar, and Meowth? Because that's what got tweeted out, ladies and gentlemen. That's what got tweeted out. What we have is Meowth, Magcargo, and Chaos Vortex. So let's go through what we do know, try and guess what we don't, and this is one of those videos. I know some of you comment on all of my videos, some of you don't drop comments, that's absolutely fine, most of the time. Today, I would like a prediction, I would like ideas from every single person watching this video. Let's get the hive mind rolling on an answer. So Magcargo then, that is the one that came around in Celestial Storm, basic reprint of the old EX Deoxys one, with the ability Smooth Over. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for a card, shuffle your deck, and put the card on top of it. You get to search for any one card and put it on top of your deck. Okay, so that's used for consistency. It's combined with Magcargo GX to get some extra energy. Magcargo GX, incidentally, has a great ability, Crushing Charge. Once during your turn, you may discard the top card of your deck. If it's a basic energy, attach it to one of your Pokemon. Okay, cool. Chaos Vortex is a stadium which isn't actually out yet. It's going to be coming out in Cosmic Eclipse. And Chaos Vortex says that if your opponent tries to play a stadium while Chaos Vortex is in play, you discard that new stadium without using any effect of the stadium. Obviously, Chaos Vortex goes away as well because a new stadium is being played, but the new stadium goes away as well. So we've got Magcargo to search out anything we like, and we've got Chaos Vortex to stop stadiums, and then the last card here is Meowth. Now, incidentally, for anyone that might be wondering, this is the Meowth that came out in the Team Rocket vs. Ash set a little while ago. Never made its way outside of Japan, never got released over here. It is a 70 HP Meowth. For 2 energy, it does 30 damage. For a single energy, it's got the attack Filch, draw a card. Now, if this was just being played to draw a card, we would have better options. I mean, you could use Porygon, it's got 10 less HP, but it's Porygon, and I love him. Or you could use, the Pyukumuku from Unified Minds has 10 more HP and lets you draw a card. So I think it's probably fair to maybe go for that one instead. Or indeed, you've got the Lickitung from Unified Minds that for 1 colourless energy draws a card for each of your Pokemon in play that has a retreat cost of exactly 4. Well, Lickitung in and of itself has a retreat cost of 4, so that means that you can definitely draw 1 card, but you can potentially draw more. So I don't think Meowth is the full answer here. Now, obviously, there's a combo here with Magcargo. Magcargo puts any card on top of your deck, Meowth draws that card, you're golden. Okay. But is that really what we're using Meowth for here? If all we want to do is draw a card, Ordino does that if it's in the active. But even Ordino isn't really the best way to go about doing this. What we really want to use is something like Pidgeotto that sits on the bench and does it. So I can't believe that the whole point of this deck is using Magcargo to put cards on top of your deck, using Meowth to draw them, and using Chaos Vortex to block stadiums. I don't get that. I don't think that's the deal. I don't know. I could be wrong. But I don't see how that makes a deck. And I don't see how that's the best way of playing it. If you want to draw cards using an attack, Pyukumuku is better. If you want to draw cards just for drawing cards, Pidgeotto is better. I don't understand. So I'm thinking there's got to be more to this. Now, what it might be, it might just be a Magcargo deck. Now, if it's a Magcargo deck, then we need to be playing the GX, and that will be our main attacker using Lava Flow. Discard any amount of basic energy attached to this Pokemon. This attack does 50 more for each card you discarded in this way, for a minimum 3 energy. And at that point, you would need Chaos Vortex to turn off Power Plant, because otherwise Power Plant would be turning off your ability. And generally speaking, you have to play down your own stadium after Power Plant, which means you've got to have it the turn Power Plant is in play, and it's awkward. Here you whack down Chaos Vortex, your opponent tries to play Power Plant, it fails, then next turn, hopefully you've got another Chaos Vortex. So it would be a great counter to that in a Magcargo deck. Similarly, if you're playing a GX deck, Shrine of Punishment is one of the other stadiums you would really want to stop your opponent using here, because Shrine of Punishment drops 1 damage counter on each Pokemon EX and GX between turns, and that would hurt you here. So it might be a Magcargo deck. Still don't really get the Meowth though, because you want to be attacking with Magcargo. So I think the sensible inference here is that we've got ourselves a Persian deck. Okay, cool. Now, of course, there's nothing to stop you using memory energy here to try and copy the attack of the Meowth so that you can either attack with Persian as Persian or use memory energy to use Meowth's attack. Either of those would be fine. So that I could be on board with. And we've got a couple of options for Persian here. Now, bearing in mind, Alolan Persian evolves from Alolan Meowth, so we are only talking regular Persian here. We are not talking Alolan Persian. That's very important. This has got to be a proper Persian. Okay, so now we've got that out of the way. What have we got? Well, we've got the Persian from Team Up with Make and Pay. 20 damage for 1 energy. If your opponent has 4 or more cards in their hand, they reveal their hand, discard cards you find there until your opponent has exactly 4 cards in hand. So what we could do here is try and get rid of our opponent's hand, or at least a lot of good cards from it, and then smash with Magcargo. We've also got Persian here with Gathering of Cats. Ignore all energy in the attack costs of each of your Pokemon in play that has the Cataday attack. Having said that, if we were using that Persian, why would we not be using the Meowth with Cataday? That doesn't make a huge amount of sense to me, so I'm going to go ahead and guess that that probably isn't the deal. Probably the best Persian at the moment, of course, is just Persian GX. Persian GX, very nice card. It's got an ability: if one of your Pokemon GX or EX was knocked out during your opponent's last turn, you may search your deck for up to 2 cards and put them into your hand. Plus, it's got the attack Vengeance that does 10 damage plus 20 more for each Pokemon in your discard pile that can be used for just a triple acceleration energy. Or indeed, in Japan, they've still got double colorless energy, so if you were to combine that with Magcargo, that would then potentially get the energy on this to be attacking here. Or maybe it's some combination of all of them. In terms of Persian, we've basically only got the one from Team Up and the GX. Because the Cataday one makes no sense if we're not playing Cataday Meowth. In terms of Magcargo, we've only really got Magcargo GX here. In terms of Chaos Vortex, It really is Shrine of Punishment and Power Plant that are the main stadiums you'd want to get rid of that would hurt you. Maybe it's there to try and stop stuff like Giant Half or Viridian Forest that might otherwise help your opponent. That is a possibility. But I've got to think this is some kind of Persian Magcargo deck that's trying to counter Power Plant. That is my number one theory. I'll be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, it's not a strong theory, and I don't feel great about it. But I saw this being tweeted out, and it immediately got my deck building sense going, and I thought, well, I can't figure this out, but maybe my lovely followers on YouTube, maybe those lovely ladies and gentlemen can fix it. So let me know in the comment section what you think this deck is all about. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where we talk about a whole bunch of games that don't even have any Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.